Party of Texas, I'm going to do what they taught us in the military. You don't win on defense. You win on offense.
That's right.
You constantly go on the attack. The Germans feared General George Patton because of one thing. He always attacked them. And they believed wherever Patton was, that was where a butt kicking was coming, and that was where the United States Army was focused. If you look and read, he never lost a battle. He was tough. You know what? The soldiers knew Patton was going to make sure that we won. It's time for that in the great state of Texas. It's time for us to stop allowing them to push us around. When I look at where we are here in this community, our black brothers and sisters should be here. But they don't hear our message. When I travel down to Laredo and I get the opportunity to sit with Hispanic pastors, when I'm out in El Paso, 84% Hispanic. And Hispanic pastors say, we're tired of this. Teach us and help us and train us how we can run for city council, how we can run for school board. We're tired of these Democrats that want to. That's what happens when you show up. When you show them that you're not afraid. That's what happens when you go, I hate the word outreach. If ever I hear anyone say the word outreach, I'm going to take you and drag you down I-35. Outreach means we show up. Black History Month, or Hispanic Heritage Month, or Asian Pacific Heritage Month. And then they never see us again until a couple of months before the election. When we show up and we say, vote for us. I want engagement. I want us to be there 24/7, 365. I want to talk about policy inclusiveness. There is no reason why anyone should be voting for the rule of the mob. They should be voting for the rule of law. There is no reason anyone in the United States of America should be voting against individual sovereignty. See, the great thing about individuals in the United States of America, sir, you're sovereign. You know why you're sovereign? Because your rights come from a sovereign creator God.
Amen.
Okay? They don't come from man. And when Pastor Rose is talking about discussing the difference between liberty and freedom, God gave you liberty. Man believes that he can give you freedom. Start talking to your children, start talking to your grandchildren, and telling them that getting something for free, that's not freedom. That's the very depiction of economic enslavement. Start telling people that you've got two choices in life. You can either grow up to be a victor, kid born in a segregated hospital, grew up in the inner city of Atlanta, Georgia. My dad was just a corporal in World War II, and I get to be a lieutenant colonel in the United States Army. That's what talking about being a victor is. But when our kids aren't getting that message in that traditional nuclear two-parent household, they go to the Black Lives Matter website. You know what they say? They say the traditional nuclear two-parent household is a representation of white supremacy. They don't care about what's going on in the black community, but you guys got to come out and talk about that. They gave them that name so that you would be on the defense. They gave them that name so that they will come up to you and say, well, don't you think Black Lives Matter? Let me tell you what you answer. Sure, which Black lives? That's how you respond. And that's the key thing about being a chairman. Everything that's in this little beady brain, I'm going to put it out there for each and every one of you. Because the only way we win is if we lock shields.
That's right.
Yes.
Warriors created an impenetrable front and they marched forward in lockstep. If there's one thing that I can admire about the other side, those knuckleheads all say the same thing on every single day, anytime they're on TV. Exact same narrative. And here we are out there all over the place. We've got to be unified in our message. And that's what I want to do for you.
That's right.
We've got to get into these major urban population centers. We got to show up. Because the thing is that they can't defend who they are and what they've done in these inner city communities. But if no one is there to hear a contrary message, guess what they do? They continue to vote to be a victim and not a victor.
Amen.
And they continue to vote to be collectively subjugated and not understand their own true liberties that they have. That's where we have to show that light. And when we show that light, the roaches will stir. Now, don't think that you're going to come in here and you're going to win every single person in these urban centers. We're going to have to fight hard to win it back, completely. But the political battlefield calculus is that if we can get our rural counties and communities to turn out at 75% or higher, and then if we start looking at the precincts in these urban centers where we can pick off support, then we kick their tail.
Right.
It has to be strategic. It has to be well targeted. It has to be laser focused. That's what we want to do. And that's where I need your help. I gotta have you get out of your comfort zones. I gotta have you get out of your echo chambers. I need you to go out and find 5 people that don't think and believe as you do and get 3. The reason why I said 3 out of 5 is 60%. That's not Common Core math, that's real math.
That's right.
60% in a political race is called a landslide.
That's right.
A landslide starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with each and every one of us in our own little sphere of influence. I'm not telling you to get 5 out of 5, because 2 out of those 5 are stuck on stupid. You're not going to be able to get through to them. But at least you can kind of plant a seed.
Yes.
But I believe that 3 out of 5, they don't want to be allowed in the mob. But if they don't hear from it, they will. I want you to go out and understand that this election is not about a person. It's not about a persona. It's not about a personality. That's what they're going to do, because that's the Saul Alinsky tactic, is to go after the person. What we're going to do is go after them and their ideology. What we're going to do is talk about, do you really want our country to be run by the people that want to rip down our statues, tear up our monuments, and destroy our history? That's no different from the Taliban and what they did in Afghanistan. That's no different from ISIS and what they did in Iraq and Syria. When you're establishing an independent, whatever they call that place, occupation zone or whatever, that's no different from ISIS establishing a caliphate. I need you to have the courage to say that. When they're calling your name, folks, you're winning. When you get them past their initial talking points, you can just take it to time. But the thing is, too often, when they start to call us a name, you respond. You back up. You back away. Because our little feelings get hurt. Are your feelings more important than Texas? Are your feelings more important than the United States? Then you got to fight. You got to go forward. Let me close by saying this, and then I'll open it up for some questions. We're going to get our message on billboards. Great things about Texas. We don't have subways here. I know you're saying you're in New York City. We don't have subways. Everything is above ground in Texas.
Exactly.
We're going to pound our message on billboards. We're going to put it on the sides of buses. Wherever you go, you're going to see, you're going to know there is a Republican Party in Texas, and we are relevant, and we do have a message. That's how we win. By putting them on the defense. No other state has been successful in turning back progressive socialism. We can do it right here. We will do it right here.
That's right. That's right.
Because this is Texas. There's something different about it. I know some people say, hey, Colonel, you just been here 6 years. But you know something? I was born and raised in Georgia. I went to the University of Tennessee. If you go down and you study the Alamo and everything, Jim Bowie was born in Georgia. Sam Houston was from Tennessee. The second president of the Republic of Texas was Mirabeau Lamar. He was from Georgia. There was once a former United States House of Representatives member from the great state of Tennessee. History tells us he was the last man to lose his life at the Alamo. David Crockett. They followed the sound of the guns. They answered the call to arms. It is now your moment to answer that call to arms. Let me tell you one of my favorite quotes, and then we'll take some questions, and then we'll eat barbecue. The devil whispers to the warrior, you cannot withstand the coming storm. The warrior whispers back to the devil, I am the storm. We're going to print t-shirts, and the t-shirts are going to say, I am the storm. Republican Party of Texas, and each and every one of you, we're going to be the storm that the progressive socialist left has never seen. God bless you all.